Dude, to show you why we pull the handle out before we shut them off. Pat down. And you just grab these things and go shaklang. So here's a saw, friends, that we haven't had out for a little while. It's my ported by Ripsaw 572, which you all know how I feel about it. Wow. Friends, hello, good morning. I gotta tell you, and before I even speak, I'm gonna tell you there's something that bothers me a little bit, and I'm gonna get it out of the way. So if this is something you do, maybe you can change it, because I think others are thinking the same thing. You tell me if you do. We do things out of our own choice, but then we complain about it. For example, let's say, I'll give you one. I come here and I go, whew, this is a lot of work doing this YouTube. All the editing and all. What did you just say? That's your example. This is my choice to do this. The last thing I would do would come here and complain to you about that. So here's my point. Yes, it's a lot of work. I love every minute of it because of the enrichment that has happened in my life with friendship. I just got off the phone with Scott, not my new friend, but friends, excuse me. I'm telling you, don't be afraid to expand your circle of friendships and to go outside your comfort zone. Like I want to thank the people in my members group. We had a live feed yesterday and it was amazing. And this is what I want now from this channel is connection. Connection. So you will see me going and traveling and cutting trees with people and do that. That is the goal, is for me to stay physical, stay on a saw and run this carcass right into the ground. A beak and some feathers is all that'll be left with this carcass when I'm done. And that's how it's going to go. So, because if I sit still, it's over. I know that. The editing part of this channel, for me, I do it all on my own. I don't have people that edit. I do everything on my own. That's just the way I've chosen to do it. That's why my videos are fairly standard. I get tricky with the iMovie Maker a little bit there and do my little things, but she's fairly straightforward here because I'm a fairly straightforward guy. So to the men and women out there in this world that hate their jobs, that hate them, like you've got to kick yourself out of your bed and go to that job to feed your infants and pay your mortgage and pay your truck payment or do whatever it is to the cost of living these days, and you go to a job that you don't like. I'm going to tell you something, and I'm feeling it in my throat right now. That is one of the most noble exercises. Personally, you're a bigger man than I. I found that out many years ago that, mind you, I didn't have kids. I didn't have kids when I chose to chase the handlebars on the power saw. I didn't have a family then. That was shortly after that came. But thank goodness I'd prepped myself for it. Thank goodness I had prepped and sowed all my wild oats so that I could give myself and learn about myself before I had children. So anyways, friends, I got so much to say. I just got off the phone with Scotty, my new buddy, and what a neat friendship. We come from completely different backgrounds, and we just jive. It's so cool. Anyways, friends, I want to share. I got a lot of cutting footage right now. I got that 592 from Husky. I'm not going to do an unboxing. I'm going to tell you right now, Husqvarna sent me a 592, and I have it. It's all barred up. And I got some footage. I got cutting footage with Scott and I got a bunch of footage, but I want to share the gloriousness and the wonder of this 572 from Ripsaw, okay? And I'm going to say another thing right now. It has been about 1.5 years now that I've been running DGP bar oil. You know the stuff, the one that you guys thought I was nuts, and I actually was almost scared to talk about an organic bar oil on this channel, but I couldn't fight it I couldn't fight it. I've been running it for a year and a half now, steady. I don't recall now this is crazy. This is crazy. I do not recall the last time I ground a bar. Are you hearing me? If you know anything about bar oil or wear and tear on metal, and you see these power saw bars that got these grooves and folding over edges, and if you know anything about that stuff, I'm just going to say it to you again. DGP bar oil will blow your mind if you're into this stuff. If you're just a cookie cutter dude or a guy who, doesn't really do it professionally, or you're in it all the time and it's on your skin and you're cleaning your saws and you're goopy this, you may not understand, like I do and others do that run this DGP, what a gift this is to the industry. Seriously, I'm being straight with you. I love this stuff. So Scott from DGP, thank you. I'm going to put your link in the description today at changeyourOil.com. It'll be in the description of this video. Let's ride this 572 with a muffler that I built, which I may bring to the market. I'm not sure yet. But the pipe thing's crazy. You got to have spark arresters, and there's lots involved, and it takes people's time. And I ain't no production guy. And I'm not no welder. I'm a sawman. And I ain't no axe builder neither. I ain't no blacksmith. I ain't no electrician. I ain't no drywaller. I ain't no mechanic. I ain't none of that stuff. I'm a power saw man. So that's what I'm going to stick to doing. So let's get cutting and get them saws sharp, friends. If you want to learn how to stand up and buck, it starts with a sharp, sharp saw. To our members on our live feed yesterday, I love you all. Thank you so much. There's lots of stuff going on back there and lots going on here. This is a lot of work, but I love it. Let's get at it. How I feel about it. I freaking love it. Now, it hasn't been fired for a bit, so who knows? It's pretty consistent at 4 pulls max. When it was new, it used to fire up in like, if I was on it, friends, I would get it on, it would pop at 2 pulls. It would pop on 2 pulls, and then it would go on the 3rd if you had your finger on the trigger. So, I never used to do this, friends, but I do now, and it makes sense, especially on a saw that draws pulse from the crankcase. So, we're gonna choke it. It says to pop the bubble a few times on this thing, so who would I not to do that? And then, I just give her a few of these, and that compression starts that process of pumping fuel. Mind you, I don't know how these get fuel, so let's see what happens. See that? That's good. I can get this saw to fire 2 to 3 pulls. Friends, when you're busting up like I am, that's nice to get a saw going in 2 pulls, 3 pulls. Friends, after my visit with Scott, the Essential Craftsman, and his wife, and I, and my wife, and I feel rejuvenated for some strange reason. I don't know what it is, but I do. You see what I'm doing here, warming this thing up? I don't just fire and crack. So what I'm doing here is a little Raker test, the one-handed Raker test. You see what's going on here? You see this? I'm not being stupid. See me? I'm trying to talk to you, but we know it's loud. I'm just showing you that the Rakers, smooth is fast, friends. Okay, smooth is fast. So if you're running, jumping all around when you're starting to bore cut, you see these guys jackhammering the wood and machine gunning their saws, that's not good for anything. Watch this thing go.
Okay, if you're new here, I'm going to show you something if you want to find out where your rakers are at. I do this once in a while. It's not to be cool or do something weird. You can keep your hand on the bar, but I've been doing it so long that it lets you know how nicely set your rakers are. Watch.
Friends, you can do this test with two hands. I'm just showing you. Watch, it'll do one little bop here. Right, hardly, right there. See those little bops? Just bop, bop, bop. We're in there. If anybody's cut dead bone dry fur, you'll understand what's going on here. Okay, well, I've just got to say this, and I don't care about the interjections. I don't care, because this is my channel. And I feel in my heart that I need to say to you, yes, you young man, who is sitting there looking at this saw going through this wood, check this out for a minute. Did you know that you can have so much fun? This is an amazing feeling. This is why I still do this. This is why I started doing this, and this is why I still continue to do this. Is this right here. This noisy, dirty, dusty feeling. You can turn this into money with the pickup truck and an axe. You can chop that into smaller pieces and deliver it to someone's home, and they can give you money. You can go home, buy groceries, give it to your wife, and feed your freaking family on it. I did it. You can do it too. So if you remember the journey of this saw, where I thought it was okay. It was a little heavy, but it was okay for the power delivery situation. So I extrapolated some torque out of it through exhaust. This has become one of my favorite saws, okay? But listen, if you own one of these, don't be afraid to run the snot out of it. In the high RPMs, it delivers power up high. It's not a really torquey saw, okay? So get it sharp and get it up high in the RPMs and full squirt the sucker and run the snot out of it. And go make some money with it. It's a strong, well-made, glorious power saw.
I really like this power saw, friends. Like, I really like it. It's got revs. I extrapolated the pull from it through exhaust. These aren't known for their bottom end, but it is in there. Ripsaw helped with it, and I got some exhaust going on it that I remember it changing in my hands with this exhaust. I remember it. Okay, so that's that tree all bucked up, and you can see it's not going to be no fun splitting.
There is a lot of ways to make a living nowadays. For me, it started with listening to what was in here. That's where it started. I don't know where it's going to start for you. But do remember one thing, and I might be speaking to younger men right now. You got a long way to go. You do. You've got a good 20 or 30 years of warrior years or earning years or whatever it is, from your 20s to your 50s of physicality. It's the facts. So if you weren't a schoolboy like me, and you felt the best when you were barked up and dirty and in the ditch with the shovel and just helping out, there's a living in that. There's a living in hard work. There's a living with your mittens. Think about that for a second. A power saw, an axe, and a pickup truck. And look what happened. 30 years later, here I sit. Did I know that YouTube was going to be involved in my life? No, I did not. But the sooner you start following your spirit, following your heart, and if you don't know what that is, go sit under the big oak tree or the fir tree or the cedar tree and put your hands to the sky and roll your belly over and say, here I am. Do with me what you will. It'll come. It will. It'll come. It's just fear enters the game if you think too much. Once you feel and start doing what feels right. Because we do know what is right and wrong. I already know that. Now you can't tell me we don't. And I won't listen to it. Because I do believe we know what is good and what is wrong. What is good and what is bad. And they need one another so they can exist. Like black and white. I love you. Thank you for being here. Thank you to our new members. And thank you to everybody that's been coming here for a long time, whether it's 2-3 days or 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 years. I love yous all. See you on the next one.